Man, bruh, I can't even go for a jog or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? People be looking for me everywhere I go, you know what I'm saying? Let me make sure I go home, you know what I'm saying? Got something in store for him with this next release, you know, like Brush King gave me the okay, so I think this brush gonna really change the game up.
I'm gonna live off of the hype, bro. Real thing, eh? A beat on the beat.
Hey yo, what it do? It's your boy J Lou, and you guys are just in time for a royalty brush review. Alright, so if you guys can't tell, your boy J Lou is excited and I'm pumped, you know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about Lil Pump. What I'm talking about is this brush right here. Now, when it comes to brushes, just the same way with wave videos, people tend to tell me,
J Lou, there's nothing new to talk about. Y'all talk about the same thing, blah, 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 blah.
But if you guys go back and watch, I've constantly found ways to talk about things that people have never ever talked about on YouTube and things like that. And I feel like Brush King is the same way. People tend to say,
oh man, brushes are the same. Like, what can you talk about with brushes, blah, 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 blah.
But it really takes an innovator to be able to elevate the game. And that's one thing that I believe Brush King has been doing ever since he started making brushes as well. Now with this brush, this is the Royalty 901. There's a lot of people are like wondering like, man, what's up with this shape of the brush? Like, why would you have a brush shape like that? I'm gonna tell you guys. But before I get into that, let's talk about the paint job, you know what I'm saying? Now one thing that you guys need to understand is with the Royalty Collection brushes, all of these brushes have a very unique look to them and they're all hand painted. Now when it comes to this brush, as you guys can see, this variation that I have, you guys will not have the same variation as this one, you know what I'm saying? But the thing I like about it is, man, y'all already know, your boy from the city of Serb, you know what I'm saying? H-Time, hold it down. So that purple right then and there, that just stands out to me just because I just like purple, especially on a brush. But the fact that this one has that purple look to it and it also has those black boar bristles and everything like that, it just gives it a very, very nice look. Now this brush to me would not have looked nice with blonde bristles, you know what I'm saying? So I like the fact that it came with the black boar bristles and stuff like that. Now another thing I need to point out when it comes to the look of this brush is, as you can see on the side, this brush has the ridges and the grooves indented on the side of them to be able to help you hold the brush and grip the brush whenever you're using it. Now enough of how the brush looks. People try to say,
oh man, you just made brushes similar to Diane. You made brushes similar to CQP.
but
Next say something while I'm talking is getting shot.
he always makes his own brushes in his own style, and this brush is the proof in the pudding. Now, why would you want a brush like this? The main reason why you would want a brush like this is because this is a true crown brush. Now, I know I made a video in the past about how to get the line out your crown and everything like that. I'll link that up right above. And I've also did a review on other brushes that are marketed as crown brushes. But one thing that I learned after making those reviews is that those brushes were beard brushes. You know what I'm saying? They were advertised as crown brushes, but when you take a look at this bad boy, off the top, you can see clearly why this would be considered a crown brush. So I got to give a big shout out and a big salute to BK, because from day one, he's been making brushes for wavers by a waver. You know what I'm saying? Unlike a lot of these major corporations that make hair brushes and stuff like that, they're not run by waivers. But with the Royalty Collection, it's made by a waver for waivers. You know what I'm saying? And you've never seen a brush like this within the wave game. So with that being said, I'm pretty sure you guys are wondering what kind of bristles this is. These bristles are more on the soft side. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a premium feel, but it's like more on the soft side when it comes to how it feels in your hair. Alright, so when you take a look at the shape of it, you can clearly see, as most of you guys probably guessed, this side right here is supposed to be used for your crown. And like I told y'all before, I typically prefer oval palms when I'm brushing my crown, especially with 720s, because it gives me the best precision. But when it comes to this brush is way better, and you can compare it to his previous curved brushes. As you guys can see, this brush right here is pointed at the tip. And in the past, I've stated that these brushes are really great for swirl patterns and things like that. But one of my gripes about brushes like this is that the handle sometimes gets in your way. When you look at the other Torino Pro curved brushes and things like that, this is not pointed as much as these are. You know what I'm saying? So for me, the way I understand it is Brush King basically took kind of those two concepts and combined it into a palm brush with a pointed tip. I've been using all of these brushes for a while, just testing them out and kind of getting a feel for each and every single one of them. And these brushes are truly crown brushes. Now, with that being said, the thing that I like about this brush is the fact that it's a palm brush. Me personally, my favorite brushes are palm brushes because they give you the best grip and control when you're brushing your waves and things like that. And at the same time, because the bristle coverage is not as big, it allows you to be able to brush precise angles whenever you're trying to get better waves. And when it comes to getting a crown, as you guys know, it is very difficult to hit your angles if you have a swirl. Now, with that being said, let me go into the details about how I would isolate my crown with this kind of brush right here. Before I do that, I know a lot of people typically have 360s. They either have a Beehive or they try to have a 360 swirl or something like that. One thing I want to say is keep watching the video because I'm gonna also give you guys tips about how you can better your crown with this brush as well.
So without further ado,
let's get into it. Alright, so as you guys can see, the main difficulty that I've always had with my crown area is being able to hit the precise angles without overlapping the coverage of my hair. If you've all been following my journey, as I told you before, my left side of my pattern has always been a struggle simply because of how my hair grows and the way that I have to brush it. And then I've been trying to get these waves in this portion to be able to go directly into my crown. Now, once I got this brush, once I place it right by my crown area, I just simply use the end of the brush to be able to point directly into my crown, and then you just brush your crown the way that you need to, like this. So as you guys probably noticed, my crown looks a lot more closed than it used to be, and that's because I've been using these brushes as well as the curved brushes to try to help seal up my crown area, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you have a 360 pattern, I'll show you how you would have to brush if you had a Beehive. Now, if you have a Beehive, the reason why this brush is very beneficial for you is because a lot of times people understand that a Beehive pattern is similar to a compass, you know what I'm saying? Even though I don't have a Beehive pattern, the typical angles for a Beehive pattern is similar to a compass. You have north, south, east, west, and then you have each corresponding angle, the north, the southeast, southwest, northeast, northwest, and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? Whenever you brush your Beehive pattern with that, all you would have to do is place this brush directly in the center of your Beehive and brush out, and you can just simply follow it like that. Even though I don't have that pattern, you have to use your imagination. You would be able to tell why this brush is very great for that pattern because the pointed end of the brush is very small, and whenever you brush out, it branches out, you know what I'm saying? So it allows you to be able to hit that very tight angle, and then it brushes out to the flow of the rest of your pattern. That's one reason why you will really benefit from this brush right here is simply because of this design of the brush. But another thing that I want to point out is this brush is not just used for your crown. Because of the way that this brush is made, as you can see, the back portion of it can be used for vertical brushing, and you can use it any kind of way, you know what I'm saying? So with my pattern, when I'm brushing the back of my head, I can brush it like this, or I can take the brush holder like this and use the bigger portion to be able to start off with. Alright, now one of the last things that I want to say about this brush that I really like about it is because I have 720s, it allows me to be able to find my angles. And the reason why I say that is because whenever I'm brushing, I know where my crown is, and all I have to do is make sure that the pointed end is always pointed towards my crown whenever I'm brushing my pattern. By doing that, I'll be able to find the angles that I need and just follow the flow of my wave pattern to be able to help out my connections. The closer I get, then the more I would have to swoop it, because my crown gets a lot more compact and tight, but the further out I am, I don't have to swoop it as much, you know? But it just allows me to be able to find the angles that I need for my pattern and to be able to help tighten up my wave pattern. Now previously, like I already told you guys that's been following my journey, my right side of my waves, the flow into my crown was just really messed up. But as you can see, I fixed that my pattern to all my waves are flowing directly into my crown. The only thing I really have to try to focus on is really getting this left side down packed. And I believe because I have this brush as well as my curved brushes, I will be able to do that. But if I don't, you guys may be able to see me go back to 360s and be able to use these brushes and things like that. But with all of that being said, I don't have anything else to say. It's your boy J Lou. I hope you guys had a great week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And at the end of the day, salute.
come bristle me, ayy, do what I do. Lou is the name. I'm so off the chain. To
Reno is the brush do wet wood grain. Brush a wave and have something. Brush a wave and have something. Brush a wave and have something. Brush a wave and have something.